Hello students, in the previous lecture we discussed about the GSM technology. So in order to enhance the services provided by the GSM, GPRS is introduced. So GPRS stands for General Packet Radio Service. Actually the GPRS is used to increase the data rate of the existing GSM system. So there are certain things that GPRS uses, that there is a need of certain software upgrade when the GPRS was introduced after the launching of GSM, and it is a successor version of HSC SD high speed circuit switching data. And we have to use 4 coding schemes here, that is CS1, CS2, CS3 and CS4. These coding schemes will carry 8 data slots, data transfer slots, each having with different data rates. So we can have a minimum data rate as well as a maximum data rate, and we can utilize these data rate in order to transmit certain packets in the communication media. So our main objective is to provide the reliable and the cheaper data transfer. So in this lecture we will see how can we achieve this goal with the use of GPRS technology. So in the GPRS, basically the thing is we have to use GMSK modulation technique. So GMSK stands for Gaussian modulation shift keying modulation technique is used, in which there is a base station tower and there is a receiver. This is the mobile equipment, and these are the downlink channel and the uplink channel, and the coding scheme is used in order to provide the data transfer between the uplink and the downlink channels. And these coding schemes will carry 8 data slots. So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 data slots are here in the downlink, as well as 8 data slots are here in the uplink channel also. So in this GMSK modulation technique says that it has a capability of transfer only the 1 bit per symbol modulation rate. So data transfer rate is very slow in the GPRS. So in order to mitigate this, another technology was introduced, that is called Edge. So we will discuss the Edge technology in another lecture, but in this lecture I am talking about the GPS modulation scheme. So we have to use GMSK modulation technique in order to provide the channel capacity rate in order to transfer the data from uplink, from the base station to the mobile station. So this is the coding scheme, in which you can see that there is a tower and this is your mobile equipment. So as I told you, we have to use 4 coding schemes, CS1, CS2, CS3 and CS4, and it is assumed that the last coding scheme CS4 carry the higher data rate. So it is very clear that the last coding scheme CS4 is provided, and in that area in which the mobile equipment is very nearer to the tower. So when we are very nearer to the tower, the data rate will get higher, and the channel errors in the channel will be very error in the channel will be very minimum rate. So CS4 is used in that area in which the mobile station, your mobile equipment is very nearer to the base station. Then if you are moving from a certain distance to some far distance, then your channel coding scheme CS3 is used, then CS2 is used, and if you are so far away from the base station, main base station, then the channel will be error prone, as well as the data rate provided by the CS1 scheme is get very low. So this diagram will tell you about the data rate and the error free. Now you can see that if we are using the CS4 channel, which is nearer to the tower, CS4 coding scheme which is nearer to the tower, then we will get higher data rate in order to transfer the data. And in this way, when we use CS4, our channel error will get very minimum. So these are the coding schemes CS1, CS2, CS3 and CS4, and there are 8 slots. So you can see in the CS1, highest data rate in the 8th slot is 72.4, and in the CS4, which is nearer to the base station, the higher data rate is 171.2. So the question is, what is the minimum and the maximum data rate provided by the GPRS to the users? So this higher and the minimum data rate basically depends on the overhead. Overhead means current load at the base station, means at the current time base station is serving at how many number of mobile equipments or the mobile stations. So at least the policy says that base station will give one time slot to each user with the minimum data rate policy. The policy says that we have to give at least one data slot for each user, and maximum data rate depends upon the user crowd, means the overhead generated by the base station, means how many number of users are getting services from the base station in order to transfer the data. And the total capacity provided by the CS4 is 171.2. so we can see the lowest one will be 1 and the highest one can be 171.2, but it is not totally 171.2, it will be less than 171.2. as I told you, it depends upon the channel condition bloat. So if we are utilizing the TDMA data frame concept over there in the coding scheme, so there are different number of receiving and the sending slots, and according to the receiver receiving and the sending slots, my maximum number of slots can be vary for each class. Now GPRS architecture. In the GPRS architecture is much similar to the GPS architecture, but there are certain more things have introduced in the GPRS architecture, like you can see that is a term that is called SGSN. So SGSN is a serving GPRS support node, as well as you can see here GGSN. So GGSN is a gateway GPRS supporting node, as well as the GCM does not have IP backbone like diagram in GSM, but in the GPRS there is IP backbone diagram which provides to certain services like DNS, LIG, border gateway, and the charging gateway also. So I will discuss it in the more detail, like in this diagram. So in this diagram you can see there is a mobile station, then the base station network and network subsystem and the other networks. So basically we have to learn that what the entities are inside the GPS architecture. So for the understanding point of view, I am dividing my GPRS architecture into three parts. The first one is called mobile station, the second one is called base subsystem network, and the third one is network subsystem. So in the mobile station is made up of two entities. The first one is called your mobile equipment ME, and the second one is called SIM. So mobile equipment is just like your smartphone devices in which the SIM is not installed, your mobile devices. And what is the SIM? SIM is a subscriber identity module, and it is a chip that carries certain information like the subscription services as well as flash memory in order to store certain information like contact number and a particular messages. So subscriber identity module. So these two things I already discussed in the GSM technology, so I will not go through in depth in this lecture regarding this SIM or mobile devices. So now come to the point, another component that is called the base subsystem, that is the second component of our GPRS architecture. Now see the diagram, you can see there are two components, BTS and the BSC. So BTS and the BSC is also in the GSM, so the working flow and the services and the functions provided by these components are same as per the GSM technology, but there are certain functionalities are also included, like BTS is served with CCU unit. What is called CCU unit is called channel control unit, and your BSC, that is called the base station controller, is engaged with PCU, that is packet control unit. So what are the functionalities provided by the CCU? As the name indicates, channel control unit. The basic functionality of the channel control unit is synchronization of the slots. Another functionality provided by the CCU is you can say power control by the antenna system. Okay, so this CCU is engaged with the BTS, so whatever the services provided by this BTS is provided by the CCU unit also. Now the second component inside the base subsystem network is called BSC, that is base station controller, and PCU is engaged with the BSC. So what are the functionalities provided by the packet control unit? So as the name indicates, again it is used to control the generated packets, whatever it is, a data packet or multimedia packet or a voice type of packet, and according to this packet type it generates slot. So we can say this PCU, packet control unit, is act as a resource management. Capability, having the resource management capability, and it is used to make work with BSC. Now come to the third component, that is called the network subsystem. So network subsystem contains so many of subcomponents. The first one is called VLR. You can see the diagram here is VLR. So VLR is same as just like the GSM, that is visitor location register. The functionality of VLR is used to maintain a database, for visitors, as well as VLR is used to resolve the queries, regarding HLR. So what is HLR? HLR is home location register, and this home location register, as the name indicates, it is used to provide the database of the home location, database that contains information regarding mobile equipment, home, registration, location. So what are the EIR, equipment identity registration? So just like in the GSM, EIR is used to perform the authentication services. So this point is already completed, so I delete it. So what is the authentication center? Actually this EIR, equipment identity registration, is used to provide the blocking services, like blocking of the calls, and the another functionality provided by the EIR is tracking of handsets. Now the authentication center is used to perform the authentication services. Authentication services like providing of some security mechanism like encryption, decryption, cipher key, as well as signatures. Then what about the SGSN, serving GPRS supporting node? So you can see one term is missing in this third component of the GPRS, that is called MSC, Mobile Switching Center. So in the GPRS architecture, this MSC Mobile Switching Center is replaced by SGSN. So the functionality of the SGSN or the MSC in the GSM is same, but the नामकरण थोड़ा डिफरेंट हो गया है, बाकी फंक्शनैलिटी सेम है. सो SGSN services GPRS supporting node provides the functionality of just like MSC, like mobility management. Another one is it is used to provide handoff support. And you can see the diagram. Like in the diagram, your SGSN is communicated with the IP backbone network. So in the IP backbone network that I already taught you in the class, that we have to use the mobile IPv6 as well as some modified TCP protocol in order to provide the IPv6 capabilities. So this point-to-point link capabilities is provided by the SGSN. And also your SGSN is communicated with the EIR. So SGSN keep track of the mobile devices because SGSN is used to provide the handoff support as well as the mobility management. So any queries regarding to the handoff of the mobile equipment is resolved by the EIR. Now the another component inside network subsystem is called GGSN, that is Gateway GPRS Supporting Node. So as the name indicates, it is act as a gateway. This is a gateway to control the network traffic. Not control, it is a gateway for network traffic actually. Controlling is done by the firewall, so it is used for only the network traffic. Now another functionality provided by the gateway GPRS supporting node, because gateway supporting GPRS supporting node is used to establish the communication between the two networks. So in order to convert the private network into the public part, it has to communicate with the DNS and allocate IP addresses. Because it is a gateway, so security is also mandatory in order to provide protection from some vulnerable activities. So there is a need of tunneling. So this tunneling or the gateway is used to perform the communication between the two mobile networks. Now the LIG, that is called the legal intercept gateway. DNS I am skipping because I already assumed that you know about the DNS functionality, how the DNS works. You already taught in the computer networks, taught by Nishant ma'am. So LIG is called legal intercept gateway. So legal intercept, as the name indicates, it protects users from threats, as well as it provides protection from illegal usage of data and any illegal activity. Now the border gateway. Border gateway is used to provide the tunneling system. So tunneling of the packets between another mobile networks. Now what about the charging gateway? Charging gateway is very simple. It is used to perform the accounting and the billing type of functionality. Billing of the data usage and accounting of what the particular users is used their charging data at which type of the websites. So firewall is very simple. It is used to control the network traffic as well as provide some protection from hacker. So now all the components inside the GPRS architecture is resolved. The functionality is just like the GSM system, but there are certain another components like HGSN and the GGSN. So HGSN functionality just like the MSC in the GSM, and GGSN is just like the gateway, and this gateway is communicated with the firewall in order to control the traffic as well as provide protection from the hacker. And after getting services from the mobile IPv6, it get connected to the internet with the use of IP address and the DNS system. So now come to the another topic that is called Edge. So Edge stands for Enhanced Data Rates for Global Evaluation. It is a version of 2.75G. Basically, it is the enhancement of the GPRS technology. So we can say by the utilizing of Edge feature, we can more generate higher data rate in order to transfer the packet as compared to the GPRS in the GSM technology. So the purpose is to increase the data rates, and there are also small upgrades are required in order to make the advancement from the GPRS to the Edge system. So unlike GPRS, it uses 9 different modulation and the coding schemes. This modulation and coding schemes is abbreviated by MCS, and major change in the modulation scheme also, because in the GPRS it uses GPSK, but the Edge uses phase shift keying, PSK. So 8 phase shift keying by Edge is used. So this diagram is already explained by me, that in the uplink channel and the downlink channel we have a coding scheme, and this coding scheme is divided into the 8 slots, and whatever slot I am selected in order to transfer the data, I will be only to transfer 1 bit per symbol modulation rate. But in the case of Edge modulation scheme, in which I am using 8 phase shift keying, so I am able to transfer by selecting one of the slots 3 bits per symbol modulation rate. So for making the differentiation, I make a diagram of the consolidation between the GPRS and the Edge technology. So in the GPRS, I am able to transfer only 1 symbol per modulation, so only 0 and 1 can be transmitted. But in the Edge, there are 8 possibilities of the transmission. So now one thing is the switching between GMSK and APSK in different scenarios. So according to the data rate, according to my channel conditions, Edge has a capability to switch its data rate. So whenever my channel condition is good, Edge will use 8 PSK technique, in which I can able to transmit 3 bits per symbol. But if my channel condition is bad, so Edge will be able to transmit 1 bits per symbol. So it is shifting from the Edge to the GPRS according to the channel condition. So when we call my channel condition is good, the Edge assumes that my channel condition is good when my data transfer rate is more than the error occurred, and my channel condition is bad when my data transfer rate is get lower as compared to the error occurred. So according to this assumption, Edge has a capability to shift from GMSK to 8PSK or from 8PSK to GMSK. So you can see edge modulation scheme with the feature of distance. So as I told you, according to the distance, my data rate will get decreased. So when my mobile equipment is near to the mobile station tower, then my data rate, you can see the data rate is 59.2 kbps. But when I am getting far away from the mobile station, then my speed is 8.4 kbps. So maximum data rate we can get theoretically is because we have 8 time slots, so we have to multiply with the maximum data rate of the 59.2, that's one. So 8 into 59.2, the maximum data rate can be utilized by one coding scheme is 47.36 kbps, or you can say 0.5 mbps. So actually the data rate depends on certain condition, that what is the channel overloading condition, means how many data users are in a particular cell, and what about the channel condition in terms of the signal to noise ratio, as well as the error conditions, noise conditions, as well as distance from the BTS. So you can see, if I am having more distance from the mobile station, I will get a lower data rate and errors are high. So this is all about the GPRS and the edge technology. So one of the simple concept inside the GSIM, basically it is the part of GSM. So if anyone has a doubt, kindly send me a mail, or you can call me also. Otherwise I will establish a doubt session in both of the modules. So this is okay and done.